Hi guys. It's our first day second day in Europe on our big 21-day trip. So we wanted to make some videos, do like a vlog kind of during our trip for three reasons. First, for us, so we can look back on these and remember how awesome our trip was and what we did and
How we felt.
yeah, all that. And then number two, to kind of update family and friends if you guys are interested in keeping up with us and what we're doing and how we're doing, then watch these videos. And then number three would be for anyone who's headed to Europe anytime this year or in the near future who kind of wants some tips or just wants to know what it's like over here. So that's why we're doing it. And so today we went around London. Oh, we're staying in Teddington at an Airbnb place, which is Teddington is on the west side of London. Takes us about an hour to get there
Yeah.
through public transport.
On a like during rush hours it takes a little longer, but if you're just going in and coming out of the city not in the peak hours, it's like 45 minutes. Not too bad.
So yes, that's where we're staying. So we spent all day in London today.
Yeah, we started our day off by going to find Millennium Bridge, which is also known as Death Eater Bridge to some local Potterheads and everybody who loves Harry Potter. And right next to Millennium Bridge is the Globe Theater. We didn't know that, but we kind of stumbled on it, and there it was. We didn't go into Globe Theater just because
they charge like 16 pounds, I think.
Right, per
and
person.
It's obviously not the original, which is lame. It was built in like 1997.
Right.
So we shouldn't think it was worth it to pay like 25 bucks each.
Right. But we did stop outside of it and took a couple pictures, and you get a pretty good view from the side of the Globe Theater that's nearest the Thames. So that's pretty cool. We're also, decided to kind of prioritize a couple of sites we might not see, some of the bigger ones, like the Globe Theater, for instance, just because we're not a part of a tour. We're doing this by ourselves, and so we don't get like tour prices and that kind of thing. So we just had to decide what was important to us. Globe Theater just didn't make the cut.
Yeah. After that, we went across Millennium Bridge, took some pictures, some really good views from there of the Thames, and then St. Paul's, which is like directly north of the Millennium Bridge. So walked across and spent a little bit of time at St. Paul's.
We also didn't buy tickets to go inside St. Paul's Cathedral.
First of all, we thought it was free.
Because it's a church, we thought
Yeah.
it would be free because most European churches are free, but since St. Paul's Cathedral is such a landmark for people coming to visit London, they have decided to charge. I'm sure with all the sightseers, there had been some wear and tear to the church, and so they had to start charging, but it is pretty expensive. It's £18 per person. And then there's also an extra charge if you want to go up into the dome, which has some pretty cool views. Supposedly we didn't go up, but it's got good views, but it's really expensive. So yeah.
So we didn't do that. So we were just there for like 15 minutes probably.
But we did get to see the outside of it. We got to see it from different vantage points in the city, which is that's pretty much what it's like for Londoners. Londoners don't pay to go inside St. Paul's Cathedral, so...
And then you can actually go in a little bit because you buy the tickets in the church, so you can go in and see a little bit of it, but then there's barricades, so you can't go and see.
So if you don't buy tickets and you decide to walk inside, you get to have a bit of a view, but not the full experience. So if that's really important to you, then go for it. But it's £18.
Yeah. And then from there, we're headed to Buckingham Palace because we wanted to see the changing of the guard, which is at 11:30 during the summer. And so we were gonna take the bus because it was like 2 miles, and we just didn't have enough time to walk that far.
Right, from St. Paul's. The bus system, though, is pretty confusing if it's your first time.
Yeah. The underground is fairly easy, but the bus we didn't really educate ourselves on, so we didn't know what bus numbers went to what stops,
Right.
and we couldn't find the stop that we thought we wanted to get to Buckingham Palace. So we walked probably about half the way, at least over a mile, because we were like trying to find our way on the way, but and then we finally got on a double-decker bus, which is the first time we had gone on one of those. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a fun experience, and you get a little bit above the city, and you get to like see all the tourists from the top level, which is kind of funny. So we got to go up in the double-decker bus past Trafalgar Square, which was pretty cool. And we actually ended up asking a bus driver who was just standing around relaxing. We asked him for advice about where to go. There is a stop called Green Park on the city bus line that stops right outside of Green Park, which is right next to, it's just adjacent to Buckingham Palace. It's on like the north side of Buckingham, and it's a really, really pretty, lovely walk through Green Park. So if you want to have like an experience in addition to going to Buckingham Palace and kind of add on to that a little bit, definitely walk through Green Park on your way. There might be a bus stop closer, but we could not find it. We looked on the internet, and there was supposed to be one. It was called like
Buckingham Gate, I think.
Buckingham Gate. Yeah, the stop was called
Buckingham Gate. We
Buckingham
didn't see it anywhere, and no one knew where it was.
The English bus driver did not know about it.
It might not be real, but it was on an app that I saw. So
right.
So we walked through the park and got to Buckingham Palace in time for the changing of the guard.
Just in time.
Yeah, it was packed. It's like a giant collection of, I don't know, probably close to 1,000 tourists there watching. And if you don't show up early enough, you will get nowhere near the gate to see it up close. Which was fine for us because there was kind of a wall around the edge of the Victoria Monument Memorial. The traffic circle. So there's like a sidewalk that goes around the traffic circle, and we sat on the wall. And actually, the sound was great, and we got to see the changing of the guard from a pretty nice vantage point, and we were actually pretty relaxed. We weren't in with all of the hustle and bustle of the 1,000+ sightseers like really close to the gate. So we didn't take pictures with the guards. No. But wasn't particularly important to us. We might get a chance sometime.
Yeah, we might. We might go back to Buckingham. But it's a really cool feel. There's a lot of people around there, just kind of wanting to see things going on at the palace. People are pretty fascinated with it. And there is a little bit of a decompression of the sightseers after the changing of the guard ends. We decided to stick around for a little bit. Thins out just a little bit, but not that significantly.
We were only there till like noon though.
Right. We didn't stay forever, so it might thin out even more.
If you come before or after, it won't be as bad.
And not in tourist season too. Like not in the summer.
We saw changing of the guard and Buckingham Palace, which I think we both thought was a little underwhelming, to be honest. You can't, go in, you can't get very close to it, so it's a nice looking building that's not particularly big or fancy so you can take that advice if you want to, and then from there, Buckingham Palace, we
walked back through Green Park,
to find somewhere to eat lunch. Right. Where do we eat lunch? We
ended up eating lunch at a place in Soho.
It was we got pho in Soho at a place called Pho. Wait, Pho?
House of Ho.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have a card.
I thought it was Pho in the So.
Nope, that's
because they're
not
being clever.
It's this. The House of Ho.
Okay.
This is what it was called.
Yes, in Soho. It was pretty good. We got 2 for 1.
We didn't actually realize that was going to happen.
Yep. So that's what we had for lunch.
Yeah.
Pretty nice place. Pretty off the beaten path.
Yeah.
So
nice relaxing break.
£9 for 2 bowls of pho.
Really good sized bowls. It'll fill you up.
And then stopped there and went on to the British Museum, which is very big.
It's gigantic. It is the biggest museum that
in
I've
the
ever
world.
been to.
So we went in there and we tried to do an audio guide by Rick Steves. If you don't have his app, it could be worth downloading.
Yeah.
His
humor's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, he's very lame. But he has some free like walking tours so that you can kind of know what you're looking at when you're at sites and stuff.
Right, and if you don't want to read every single thing in the museum, which would take you years
if you don't
to do
your research, then it would be a good
worth it. He kind of shows you what is good to like stop at, what's good to dwell on, kind of the highlights
and
of the British
background
Museum
of what you're looking at. Yeah. So he did some of that, but it was so big and crowded, and we were like connected ear to ear.
We didn't bring 2 sets of headphones, and so
we were like tied together, which made it difficult to navigate.
And it was crowded, so for us it was a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, and we were pretty tired at the point because we had walked.
So
I think we
much.
walked close to 2 miles from Waterloo Station to like Millennium Bridge area, and then we walked like another mile from like St. Paul's to halfway to Buckingham Palace. So we walked probably by like 3 miles by that point. Right. So we were a little bit tired and
getting some
it was
blisters.
Kind of hot. So we kind of quit a little bit early and didn't finish the walking tour.
There are some really nice places to sit though, and the prices for food are actually really decent inside of the British Museum. So if you wanted,
a little, like, cafe.
Yeah, if you wanted to spend a whole day at the British Museum, you could do a good majority in the morning, stay there for lunch, and then do the rest. Yeah. Which is, it's free. It's true that it's free.
Yes.
There are some ticket centers and some information centers, but you don't have to walk up to them.
Maybe.
Yeah. There are a lot of schools that do tours all the time.
Lots of tour groups.
Lots of tour groups.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really relaxing place if you're just sitting on the bench. If you're just sitting on the bench, it can be really relaxing.
Yes, but it is huge, and it could be pretty easy to get lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, we actually have plans to go back on
Later,
Saturday.
Yes.
So might get to see some more things when we're maybe less tired.
Yeah. We went through the Egyptian portion.
And that's basically it.
Yeah, that's basically it. We did walk through
but we got to see the Rosetta Stone.
Yes.
Which is a pretty big highlight. It's a pretty big deal. And then we saw
the head of Ramses, which is pretty
big.
gigantic, and a gigantic scarab, all Egyptian. And we did get to see a couple of other.
We went up to the mummy rooms. Yeah.
They have some actual mummies up there. Quite a few, pretty impressive collection. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yep. It's a great walk, and actually, I think we would both do it again the same way. I don't think we would take a taxi or, take the bus. It was nice for us to see parts of London that you wouldn't necessarily see if you were to take like a tour with a tour group.
Yeah, or take the tube or something like that.
Right, or take the tube. You miss out on the feel of the city. You miss out on some pretty cool things that may not be important to tourists, but are...
You get to experience London like a Londoner, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
So, from the British Museum, we went to Covent Garden. Is that right?
Yes, we went to Covent Garden, which is a gigantic shopping center.
Yes.
It's nice.
It's cool, I guess, because it's famous, but...
Yeah. They've got street performers, and you can do a lot of window shopping if you're into that.
Yeah, or if you have a lot of money, then you can buy some fancy stuff. And then they have some like restaurants and stuff there.
We had this great crepe at this place called
Creme de la Crepe.
Creme de la Crepe, and it doesn't take that long, and you get to sit in Covent Garden. There's like a square in there where there's live music playing, and it was just a nice treat. It's like dessert for us, and it was great. They have free Wi-Fi, which was actually really fast. So if you were to buy something at a certain restaurant, then you could probably get the Wi-Fi password, and you can use it for free and kind of update everybody, get on Facebook.
Yes. So we hung around Covent Garden for a while, a little bit. Went down to the Thames and just sat on a bench because we were really tired.
But it was nice. We actually had this great view.
Yeah, I could see the Eye and Big Ben and the Shard and...
The Thames.
Yes. Yeah, so we got to sit there and just relaxed for a while and saw a bunch of joggers.
Tons of
So
joggers.
lots of locals.
They all smoke, but they also all jog. So I don't know if that kind of balances it out.
So yeah, and then from Covent Garden, we just hung around a little bit, and then took off back home after 7, which is when peak hours end for the public transport system. So it gets cheaper if you don't go between 4 and 7 in the evening, or what is it, 6:30 to 9:30 in the morning. It's cheaper not during those times. So we waited till after 7 to head home to save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And we got home, and now we're doing this.
Yeah. A couple of things. During peak hours, in the evening, it gets really busy on the streets, even busier than it is normally, and London is busy. So if you can, and you're, sort of just wanting to relax and wait until peak hours are over, just, go grab a coffee or, something and stop in a restaurant and just relax for a while because it's actually really refreshing. I think if we had tried to keep walking and seeing things for the rest of the day, we would have probably burnt ourselves out a little bit. So that's what we did. We just grabbed some crisps and a ginger beer, which is actually just ginger ale. But we just grabbed a couple things and sat down and people watched for a while, and it was nice.
Yep. So I guess we can call that a wrap. We're at almost 17 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long
So
time.
if you watched all of this, then you probably love us a lot. Might try to go a little bit shorter tomorrow. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.